purchased, this person's now in the biennial, and it wound up being in this collection, and here and there. Now the value of his piece, not that the collector's only concerned with value, but you and I both know that happens all the time. That people get on the boards of museums,
yes.
and what gets exhibited in the museums
is
reflected by who's on the board, because it increases the value of their.
Well,
holdings.
I'm not saying the curators don't come here. They're just not coming here to do studio visits. They're going to see the collector's collection. They're going to see Howard, and if anybody would do, would be happy to do it. Of course, Howard would be awesome, and Marguerite too. But that's what they're just coming here to do that, to service that in a way, or for some benefit, and then they do that. But as far as like going, hey, I'd really like to know what's happening in Dallas or Houston, the Dallas Art Fair should fund that.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be easy. They should have an event for that. But when the Dallas Art Fair is going on, there's no event to take groups to galleries. They go to the big collections, and that's it. But they all know those collections, and they know all the art that's already in those collections.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to walk into Erin's gallery and see an artist they hadn't seen and go, oh, holy shit, this might be a nice artist to think about for the next project I have, and have a log of it. I don't know how to do it. I was always just on the, artists, we're just on the end of it. We find out later whether we're involved in something or not. But I don't know. I mean, I'm not. I don't really mean to be bitching about it, because I know they have an agenda usually before they start going to gallery or to now it seems like now they have like a title. They get a title of their show, and then they got to find stuff that matches it.
Right.
I don't think they look for the work and go, "Wow, this is new art in America," or
Right.
Yeah.
Right. What are the emerging trends? And
yeah. I mean, there was different, there's always jokes, and I'm not naming the artist, but there's always jokes about the Whitney Biennial had like this person, this person, this person, this person, and then we add the others.
Right.
And it was like every single time,
Right.
But yeah, I think it would benefit. I mean, I think Texas is starting to get this kind of reputation now.
Mm-hmm.
With what Lewis is doing with the Nasher is killing it.
Right.
Having shows like the Pollock show, Jesus, that thing was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
One of the greatest exhibitions I'd ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
With the museums are doing really wonderful things that maybe that will start drawing more people. And we have great collectors here. I mean, it's like Chicago used to be. Like Chicago used to have the best collectors. Everyone knew that. Even if you didn't know of the artists you knew that they had this strong group of collectors. And I think Dallas is kind of getting that reputation.
And my guess is that's only going to become more true because of the growth that we're experiencing here. Like, there's been slow growth over decades, but, the growth that's happening north of Dallas has really taken off at a rate, with Toyota coming in, and then all the other major financial companies in that whole Plano, that north, Frisco corridor. It brings a lot of wealth into the community, and those are people that will wind up.
Well, there's a lot of people buying art. That's for sure. I think in this town already. Look how many young galleries that are here, which is fantastic. I mean, you can't go to all the galleries in one day. You can barely do it in 2 days if you take in the museums. And when I moved away 14 years ago, you go to like 2 places and you're done. So I love that. I love all these young dealers, the young artists. I think they're great for here. But as far as our population, according to Lawrence Wright's book, by 2050, there's going to be 10 million people in Dallas.
Wow.
and there'll be more population in Texas than anywhere in the country. The good and the bad is it's also going to control all the politics in the country. Hopefully, we'll flip it by then.
Right. So where do you have any shows coming up?
I have a show at what do I have coming up? I haven't. The thing that's real quick. I don't know if it's just me. I hope it's just me. Not just me, but as you grow in your career, you have less and less. It's not like I can have an exhibition every month. I used to have like 3 or 4 a year. I'm down to 1, basically. Solo shows. I have one in November at Bale Creek Allen's Gallery in Austin.
Okay.
The whole year has been with this sculpture project. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. Just making work. And then that friend of mine, Steve Denny, who I mentioned, he's also a photographer. He shows with Barry Whistler. He is curating a show at Erin Cluley's Gallery in October, which will have Vernon Fisher, Julie Bosey, myself, Alison Smith, and Steve Denny.
Wow! And
so he's curating a show there, which will be kind of fun. I'm gonna have that work from 1980 in there, 80. I think is what we're showing in that. And then Bale Creek Allen, he has a studio, but in front of his studio is a gallery, mm-hmm. and he does these great shows. Kiki Smith is doing the show right before me. He just had one of his mother, Jo Harvey Allen's photographs from when she did the Waitress performance like 30 years ago or something. Mm-hmm. He's done some really fun stuff, and I thought, sure, why not? It's Austin.
Sure.
And plus, I have that thing, we don't know, supposedly, if it goes as how Lewis mentioned it, the sculpture will be installed sometimes end of June, 1st of July. Okay. And then there'll be sort of something about it, I guess you call it an opening in September. Right. So that's all for this year.
Well, that's exciting. And so, if people want to find your work, or find a way to buy your work, there's your website.
Well, Erin Cluley's where they should go.
Yeah, right. And so, erincluley.com is, I believe, her website, and then you have yours, nicnicosia.com. Yeah, and you're also on Instagram.
I am, yeah. I like it. I'm off of Facebook, by the way. Canceled it.
Say that one more time.
Yeah, canceled it. Deleted it.
Right.
I am actually. There is a independent art dealer. He used to have a gallery in New York. Who I do have some photographic work right now. I don't think that's she didn't have a space, so it's Jane Baum.
Right.
Gallery is what it's called. Right. And she does have photographic work now. And that's it.
Great.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Nic, I really appreciate you sitting down today.
I went too long for. I'm sorry.
Oh, no. I describe these as in-depth discussions, right? And I'm not going to put a stopwatch on these. And I figure if someone has a problem with how long the podcast is, they can listen to it in chunks. But I think it's a great, great getting people to a point where we were really able to dive in and get to know someone. And
I listened to Charles. What's his name? Steve Charles? No?
Yeah, Stephen Charles.
I listened to that one yesterday. I couldn't finish it. I still have it going, but I didn't know of him. I didn't know. Well, I know Ted Kincaid. Liz Trosper is very, very young, right?
Yes.
I don't know Tim Harding. Mm-hmm. I think Kelly. I know. I met her. She's
right.
I know Joe. I've known Joe Hubble forever. Mary Vernon, I've known forever. Cedric Huckabee, I didn't know of his work, but it's really great.
Yeah, and I was talking to he shows with Valley House and the Vogels, and she was saying that he has It sounds like he's going to have like a solo show at the National Portrait Gallery.
Yeah, he should. Well, I've only seen, I didn't really know of his work at all. And then Erin had a really large piece in a group show. I think it was last summer, and it was spectacular.
Yeah.
Alison Jardine, I think she shows with Erin.
Yes,
yeah.
she does.
And Pam, I've known. I love Pam.
Right.
I've known her forever, but I didn't know Steve Charles. But it was
and
really
this week, I haven't posted yet. Sat down with Gabriel Dahl. I don't know if you're familiar.
Yeah.
He does sculptural installations using thread, and they look like rays of light. In this
Maybe I have.
And
did he have a show at the Contemporary?
Yes.
Oh, that was awesome.
Yes.
That was very cool. Well, speaking of Pam Nelson, you see that fish?
Yes.
Okay. I love that fish. When I had my first solo show at the Dallas Museum in 1985, it amazed people that a Dallas artist was having a solo show, and they got and so I came home one afternoon, and that fish was on our front porch from Pam Nelson saying congratulations on being able to have a show. And I love this thing. It's like one of my favorite things I've ever been given. It was so sweet.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's really cool. She's such a doll, but yeah, I love this fish.
Yeah.
I told her when I moved back and I saw her, I said, you know that she forgot all about it.
And I think she has an opening coming up real soon. It's either tonight or next Saturday. I think it's next Saturday. It's like the 12th at Craighead Green. And so maybe I'll run into you there.
There's so many. Not an opening. Well, I know, and my niece was my brother's oldest just had two babies, and her and her husband both lawyers, and they just moved back from Miami. And then our little granddaughter, and she says, "Hey, how about we all go to Clyde Warren Park tomorrow?" Of course, I went. This is the first Sunday that I've had no plans in like 7 weeks. Not going.
That's funny.
Yeah. So no. And openings, it is good. It's nice to do that for people. I convinced, or not convinced, but my last opening at Erin's was on Saturday afternoon.
Right.
It was great.
Yeah.
I've been trying to convince all my galleries since I started showing, can we just do this in the afternoon?
Right.
Yeah, I did it once, Erin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And it's a great space. And people love Erin.
She is. She was very impressive to me from the get-go, and I just think she's a very solid person. She's pleasant. She's honest. It's been a really good experience for me.
Awesome. Well, I really appreciate you sitting down and giving up a Saturday morning.
Oh, that's fine. That's great. I've enjoyed it quite a bit. It's nice meeting you too.
Yeah, pleasure. Thank you very much. Again, a huge thank you to Nic Nicosia. If you want to see more of his work, check out his website at nicnicosia.com. That's NICNICOSIA.com. Or on Instagram at Nic Nicosia. In addition, you can also see Nic's work online at Erin Cluley's site at erinclueley.com. I know there are lots of podcasts out there, so thanks for listening to this one. Outside of New York is a weekly podcast. As always, you can listen to the show on Apple Podcasts, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher Radio, Spotify, or your favorite podcast app. If you've enjoyed this podcast, be sure to subscribe, and while you're there, please rate the show and leave a quick review. Your feedback is the key to other folks finding us. If you'd prefer to go straight to the source, you can catch a new episode each week at outsideofnewyork.com, where new talks normally drop on Sunday evenings. Outsideofnewyork.com is a great place to check out past episodes and see images from each of our conversations. If you're interested in learning more about my art, you can visit my website at craiggould.com. That's CraigGould.com. Or check me out on Instagram at CraigGouldArt. And lastly, Outside of New York is a commercial-free, listener-supported program. Podcasts have a number of ongoing costs, like paying for a place to store and host all the episodes, or the cost of hitting the road to interview artists